What can a fake soda launch teach us about building a billion-dollar brand? More than you think. Hi, I'm Matt Hadley, and this is Marketing on Point. Today's episode, we are breaking down one of what I kind of think is one of the boldest, strangest, and really one of the smartest marketing stunts that I have seen in the past couple of years. And that is Liquid Death's Pure Sugar campaign. If you saw it, you know what I'm talking about. Basically, long story short, they faked an entire soda brand launch. You know, they cast actors. They rolled out this elaborate prank that was literally disguised as a brand new product. In the end, it was really just kind of revealed as actually it's a marketing ploy for classic Liquid Death. But the stunt, the marketing, it was sharp, it was satirical, and ultimately it became kind of impossible to ignore. The thing is that, you know, it went beyond being a funny video. It was really a masterclass into how to run a modern brand campaign. So today I want to spend a few minutes breaking down exactly why the Pure Sugar stunt worked, the marketing levers that Liquid Death pulled, and most importantly, what you and I can learn from this campaign. Welcome to Marketing on Point, the podcast where strategy meets clarity. Every episode, we break down real-world strategies, stories, and impactful tactics to help you grow your brand. Let's dive in. All right, let's start with the basics. Liquid Death launched what looked like a new soda brand, and they were calling it Pure Sugar. The premise was it was completely over the top. Literally, they pretended to brand a product that basically was everything we are told to avoid. They filmed auditions. They got actors who thought they were trying out for this new soda campaign. Only later did they realize it was actually a marketing thing for Liquid Death instead. You know, it was absolutely funny. It was absolutely absurd, and it really played perfectly into the brand. The video ultimately racked up 3.6 million views on YouTube. It sparked a conversation across social media, and it once again positioned Liquid Death not just as a water company, but really as a cultural brand. But the real brilliance, in my opinion, wasn't even the prank itself. It was really the system around it. The way that the campaign worked is really how Liquid Death approaches most of their marketing initiatives. And that is that they love pulling multiple marketing levers all at once. With this campaign, and really with all of their campaigns, that first lever that they pull is social first creative. The entire concept really around all the marketing they do is that it's built for shareability. It wasn't just a TV ad that plays in a program and then kind of gets lost in the digital stratosphere forever. No, it was really this piece of entertainment that was designed for shareability. It was designed to be passed around on YouTube, to go up on TikTok, to be shared with your friends on Instagram. And it did just that. Lever two that they always pull so well is their partnerships and their cultural placements. You see, Liquid Death constantly partners with brands like Live Nation. They partner with comedians and cultural icons. This particular campaign even fed into a bigger ecosystem where the brand already lives inside music, inside humor, and even inside the lifestyle space. That third lever that they are oh so good at drawing up and pulling is merch and spinoffs. You know, this brand, like this launch of a new energy drink or soda, whatever you want to call it, it wasn't just a one and done stunt. You see, Liquid Death has a playbook for this that they've gone to over and over and over again. And this is just the latest entry into that playbook. And that basically is launch a bold idea, spin it up into merch, find content extensions. I mean, there's even, if you go and look up the hate comments full album on Liquid Death, they literally have a full album of just pure hate comments from social media about why Liquid Death is the absolute worst. Pure Sugar fits right into that system perfectly, and that's what made this such a brilliant idea. The fourth lever that they pulled is just really relentless consistency. This stunt and every other stunt that they do always ties back to their identity, which is a little irreverent, very satirical, and extremely bold. They don't wobble or sway from that. They don't apologize for who they are. They just keep showing up as themselves. And that consistency really is what makes stunts like this stick in the long term. So the Pure Sugar stunt, it really wasn't just like a prank. It was definitely very strategic and very forward-minded. And after we take this quick little break, I want to dive in and I want to show you the actual results it generated and what you can take from it for your own brand. All right, let's talk some numbers real quick. In 2023, campaigns like Pure Sugar helped fuel Liquid Death's rise to become $1.4 billion valuation. And they did $263 million in retail sales. They generated more than 21 billion social impressions. Brand awareness jumped from 26% to 34%. That's more than 18 million additional people who knew about them and knew about Liquid Death than the year before. Those numbers don't happen by accident. They happen because Liquid Death isn't just making content, they're running a cultural machine, and this Pure Sugar campaign fit right into that. Think about what Liquid Death is. It's a canned water brand that has grown into a billion-dollar business, all because they stopped acting like just a normal beverage company selling water, and they started acting like an entertainment brand. So what does this mean for you? I would say first, if you are clear on your brand voice, then you're going to see something that is very special, very unique, and not a lot of brands can tap into. Liquid Death does this very well. They know exactly who they are and what their brand voice is and how to tap into that. That, like I said earlier, it's slightly irreverent. It's very bold. It's extremely satirical. And everything flows from that, and all of the ideas that they do, all the marketing initiatives they do, all the partnerships that they do flow from knowing their brand voice. Second, this teaches us that we need to design marketing for shareability. You don't just want to make content to fill a calendar. You need to make content that entertains, that provokes, and that sparks conversation. The third thing I think that we can take away from not just the Pure Sugar campaign, but Liquid Death as a whole, is you have to be thinking in systems, not just one-off stunts. Liquid Death's campaigns aren't always isolated. Each one kind of fuels the next and builds into the next. If Pure Sugar was the first thing, like the first marketing stunt that they did, I don't know that it would necessarily had the same impact if it hadn't been building on itself for the couple of previous years before that. Merch, partnerships, spin-offs, all of these things turn a single idea into ongoing momentum. The fourth thing I think that we can learn is you have to commit to consistency when it comes to marketing. Liquid Death, they aren't trying to please everyone. What they are doing is they are showing up in the same bold voice every single time and talking to the audience that they know is their core audience. And that's what creates trust and creates recognition. I don't think that the lesson is to copy their humor or run a fake soda campaign, but I do think the lesson is to study the system underneath what really drove the marketing levers. Like anything that you do within your brand, any marketing, any strategy, it has to include bold campaigns that are backed by clarity, consistency, and purpose that create momentum that lasts. So, Liquid Death's Pure Sugar stunt, it was funny, but it was also effective because it was part of a bigger, consistent system. And I think that's the real takeaway for us and for you and your brand. That wins come when clarity meets consistency. If you want to dive deeper and you want to unpack this this Liquid Death case study a little bit more, go check out our blog. We actually just released kind of a breakdown of this campaign in writing that also goes a little bit more into some examples, some stats, and includes some links and includes the video to this to the the Liquid Death campaign, to the Pure Sugar kind of main video campaign there, you can find that at wandercreative.com. While you're there, you'll also find other case studies that we've kind of dissected. You'll find some different things that we have done and some things that we're learning from, and just a whole suite of resources to be able to make your marketing efforts more impactful. Anyway, that's all I've got for you today. So I want to thank you for listening to Marketing on Point. I can't wait to see you next time. Thanks for listening to Marketing on Point. This podcast is all about helping you show up with clarity, connect with the right audience, and build a brand that actually grows. It's brought to you by Wander Creative, your full service partner for strategy, content, and execution that moves people. If this episode helped you think differently, do us a favor, subscribe, share it with a friend, and leave a quick review. It helps more people discover the show and build brands that actually make an impact. We'll see you next time.